Man, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever, whenever, wherever you're watching this. Thank you. So, today it is my honor and my privilege to have none other than my good brother, Jarrod Woodland, in the house, bro. In my house.
In his house.
On my couch, bro.
In his house and God's house.
Come on now. You better talk good.
Huh? You know what I'm saying?
Before we even get into it, I was just telling Jarrod this off camera, but I'm not even the type to like record stuff. I'm an in the moment type of guy. I don't like to like pull out a camera for everything, but I feel like part of why I feel so strongly that we need to record these types of conversations is just that, the things that we're talking about, the things that we're gonna get into, I feel like there are a lot of people out here who are navigating the same stuff. And so they have questions, and like we're about to get to some answers. So we might say some things that might be helpful for somebody, and it does us no good to have these conversations behind closed doors where it just benefits us. I think like God is gracious enough to allow us to understand certain stuff so that we can then share it with other people.
Yes, sir.
And I remember being, every step and stage I've walked through, I remember there were things that's like, dang, I learned that the hard way. I wish somebody could have told me that. And I think, the things that we'll talk about, hopefully we can give somebody else a leg up. Yeah.
Let's get it.
For sure. So, first thing I want is, tell the people who you are, man. What do you do? How do we know each other? Wherever you want to start, bro.
So I'm Jarrod. I'm from Florence, South Carolina. I was born in Columbia, but I moved to Florence when I was like 3 or 4, so I just claimed Florence. And ever since youngin', I was just kind of like, science and all this stuff. But I had a kind of into high school, starting college, had a dude who was like 4 years younger than me. His dad was a occupational health doctor. His name's Dr. Valerian Bruce. He knows Dr. Thaddeus Bell, which seems like everybody down here now.
Everybody know Dr. Bell.
Yeah. But I just spent some time with him, like right when COVID happened. And I was kind of like, just spending like time and just trying to soak everything in. Now, all I saw was like, I didn't understand nothing. He was trying to tell me about like Siggy caps and all stuff that was over my head and telling me to read about Henrietta Lacks. And I'm like, bro, what's this dude talking about? I know he black and he's smooth. And he happened to be a Kappa. So I was like, okay, exactly. Yeah.
You chose wrong, but it's all right.
But I was just spending time with Dr. Bruce, and like, all I saw at first was a well-upkept black man, and I was like, I want to be like him. I didn't necessarily want to be a doctor, but I was like, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
And just the more time I spent with him, I was like, bro, this is something I want to do. Like, I can, be nice to people. I can use that leadership stuff I got from basketball. I can be a nerd, and like, it's cool. Yeah. And I'm like, I think I like this. And just over time, God just took over. I'm just like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna need you to be a doctor.
Yeah. So where are you now? What step and stage are you at in that process?
I am an incoming student, class of 2028.
Come on.
God willing, at the Medical University of South Carolina.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, bro, it's been a grind. And fun. I'm glad I can laugh about it now, but it was times I was definitely spending a lot of tears.
Man, what? And I'll jump in here. I feel like that's something that's so underrated. Like, people see you get, and this ain't just for medical school, I think it's with any, major milestone in life. People celebrate you once you get there, and that's great, but they have no idea, what you went through to get to that point, man.
Wasn't with me in the gym, bro.
What? Like, you saw the shots that went in, but you have no idea how many air balls, how many missed lays, how many breaks. Like, you don't know. There's no way for you to know. And I think med school is for sure one of those. It's one of them ones where people have no idea. They see you, you become a doc, you get your white coat. They see you be smooth. They see you professional. They see you know what's going on and the way that you carry yourself. But they have no idea that, like, bro, I fought tooth and nail to even get the opportunity to, like, be here right now. And I failed a lot of times on the way. So I mean, I think that kind of ties into the next part. Is like, talk to me a little bit about your journey to med school. Yeah.
And please ask me specific questions because I be getting so excited. I'll be like,
That's fine.
School,
That's fine.
Doctor.
That's fine, man.
What was your question? You said just talk about my journey.
Talk to me about your journey to med school.
So not this previous summer, I took the MCAT twice. The first time I took it, I had a dude who played on my soccer team in high school named John King. He goes to med school in Greenville, USC Greenville. And to make a long story short, when I was shadowing Dr. Bruce, he sent me to this free healthcare clinic in Florence. I was right up the street from the hospital. I was like, yeah, man, go volunteer there. And again, I'm still kind of like in that phase of like, okay, I kind of want to be a doctor, but Dr. Bruce just seemed like a school black dude. I'm just doing what he told me to do. So I went to the clinic and I saw John. John was a senior when I was a freshman. We both on the varsity soccer team. I was like that. I rode the bench, but I was like that.
How those two things go
Yeah. I was like that.
All right.
But saying that to say, I hadn't talked to John in like forever. And I just happened to see him when I went my first time going to Mercy Medicine. Yeah, that's the name of it. And he just kind of took me under his wing, and I don't really know why. I didn't know he was at the time, like I was a follower of God, but I wasn't like, all right, I'm big stepping for God now. But I don't know, I guess God talked through him at that time, and to make a long story short, he just kind of took me under his wing, kind of telling me like, yo, you know, if you really want to take this serious, this is kind of what you need to do. This is required of you. You need to keep hitting this mercy medicine up. You need to keep your grades up. Keep doing the leadership stuff.
Right.
And he said these things in like multiple conversations, just over time, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But just kind of took me in his wing, told me like how to kind of study for the MCAT. And I took his advice, but like I didn't take the hard stuff.
That's big.
I didn't take the hard stuff, bro. I didn't.
You chose which things you wanted to apply.
So he was telling me like, study. You need this amount of hours, and he was also saying, you know, practice questions, focus on what you got wrong. And I was like, study, this amount of hours. So I was literally like, I was working at the YMCA, which is why I'm so passionate about kids and why I want to be a pediatric something, at least at this point in my life. I was working at the YMCA from 8 in the morning or 7 to like 12. I would get off, I would go to the Francis Marion Library, like 20 minutes up the road, and just sit there for 5 hours and like try to like feel like I was productive, half asleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, this is not it. Every practice test I took like 3 or 4. Matter of fact, we just being real.
Be real.
My very first practice test, I took it at my crib on a Saturday morning. My pops is very jokey, and he don't get it. Pops love me, but he don't get it. He like, yeah, man, I see you taking your test. I'm just sitting here and watch the news. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
you don't get it, bro. So I took the test, and I kid you not, bro. I don't think I've ever said this before. As I was taking the test, I literally got through the first 3 questions and realized, oh, this is multiple choice, but this ain't like read a sentence and y'all got paragraphs.
Yeah.
So I started clicking through. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this, but let me just click through. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not about to do this, bro. Clicking through, I click all the way through the exam, and I'm like, and I remember my mom's, I think I was dating my fiance at the time. She asked, and everybody was like, dang, you finished like 2 hours, 3 hours? I was like, yeah, you know, I just kind of like rushed it just to kind of get a good feel. But I was panicking, bro. I was panicking. And at this time, I was like, my fiance, her family's very big into the church. And I was still learning about God, but like, you know, my parents are people of faith, but like, we never was on some like church every Sunday type stuff, or even on some like opening the Bible. My dad, to make not too much of an aside, my pops was a chaplain's assistant in the military. So I used to go to church with him like every once in a while, because he'll promise me free ice cream after church. But me and my fiance, I was kind of getting into God, but I was like frustrated and I felt alone, bro. I was like, this is whack. I was like, ain't no way that cool dude I'm trying to be like Dr. Bruce, ain't no way he did this. Ain't no way. I done seen y'all, but like it had to be different, because ain't no way y'all did this.
Yeah.
And to just make that summer short, I just kept working at the YMCA, kept studying, and I kept failing, bro. I kept hitting like this brick wall. And I was like, what? Like, I don't get it. And yeah, took the MCAT. I knew a few people at MUSC, and I did not get in. I got a 495 on my, which was the highest score I had gotten I got a 495 on my test day. And at this point, again, I'm still trying to get closer to God. I'm kind of learning him. So I'm like, you know what, God? Like, I'm learning you. Like, I'm doing all the right stuff. Like, I never cheated. I didn't try to do anything wrong. Just, let me in. Like, you got me.
Yeah.
And then,
start bargaining.
Sheesh. And then Dr. Natalie Johnson texted me. I texted her my score. And she hit me with the, oh, dang, okay, that's unfortunate. We'll just have to take it again. Call me soon. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? What's she mean?
Yeah.
And you talking about somebody who was hurt, bro?
Yeah.
This is related. I played basketball my whole life. Struggled with it my whole life. I can hoop, but I've always, kind of been, the dude has been overlooked type of stuff. Even I played at Francis Marion for 4 years. Played JV all 4 years. If any of y'all laughing out there, you can't guard me. But
I can't.
Played JV all 4 years, and I struggled with basketball, bro. Struggled,
Yeah.
plenty of them.
Yeah.
And I thought this was my chance to finally have something I didn't have to lose at.
Oh, I feel that.
And God was like, I'm glad you figured out who I am, but now that you know who to give it to, I need you to give it to me, and I'm gonna give it back to you in a way you can never imagine.
Yeah.
And that's what he did this last summer, which is how I met Uriah.
Yeah.
I did a program at MUSC this past summer. Just students, faculty, staff, just took five of us under their wings for the summer, just taught us how to study, but really just taught us how to not lose your mind, how to just be you,
Yeah.
and to just work hard, just accept it, stop fighting it, just accept it. You gotta treat this like a job. You really do gotta study from 8 to 5 every day, or however long you study.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself, a lot about following God and the thing that you want most. I feel like there's nothing harder than that.
Yeah.
Everybody has their thing where they try to compartmentalize. They're like, all right, God, dang, take over my relationship,
Yeah.
take over my basketball skills.
Yeah.
But this MCAT though, I got this. Just make sure it work out okay.
You better
And he was like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit a brick wall, bro. I'm trying to find all these answers. And to be straight up, I don't think I studied smarter, but in general, I didn't study any harder this past summer than I did the first time.
Yeah.
I just studied smarter, the same effort, and I gave it to God.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I'm all over the place again, so you gotta ask me specifics.
You're not, bro. I think you did a beautiful job of just laying out that path, from, okay, this is something that I'm interested in, to, okay, let me actually try my hand at it, to, okay, I have this confidence in myself, and then at some point I reach my limits and I have to then put my confidence in God. I'm so glad that you were sitting right here talking about this, because these are things that I say to people, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't land, because it sounds like, oh, he's just being religious, he's just, you know what I'm saying, he's being churchy. But to hear two people sitting right here testifying and telling you bro, this path to medicine is not a game, it's not a joke at all. It's humbling to say the least. And it really doesn't matter how smart you are. That literally doesn't matter at all. Everybody in med school is the smartest person that was in all their classes and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything. Being a hard worker doesn't mean anything. It literally has to be the perfect storm of God-given talent, hard work ethic, and then just grace from God to be able to navigate it. You just can't go into medicine off the strength of I just decided I'm gonna do this. Good luck. If you look like us,
right?
Maybe if you come from a background and your whole family was doctors and you got all that stuff, that's something different. But if you come from a background like us, God has to literally carry you over so many different hurdles for you to even be able to set foot in this arena, let alone actually be successful once you get in it. Yeah.
You just you reminded me. I'm telling you, I struggle. When I get excited about something, I struggle with explaining the linear story, because it really wasn't linear.
And we don't talk linear, bro.
Right.
We talking how we talk.
It really is no other. And I like how you said about just you didn't even ask me about God since we started. You just asked me who I was, and I'm there's nothing else I can say other than like a follower of God, and He's done with this. That's why we're here. That's why I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
But you just reminded me that like, okay, I need to explain this. I'm getting married in 16 days.
16 days.
I'm getting married in 16 days, bro.
Oh, my boy. My boy. I'm so proud, bro.
I'm getting married in 16 days to the love of my life.
Come on.
And just to explain to some of y'all how God is like, I'm sure there are going to be people who are like, man, there's plenty of medical students and doctors who are successful and don't follow God.
Yeah.
I'm just telling y'all my experience in giving my life to Christ. I've always been a follower of God, kind of in and out. I got baptized when I was like 12 or 13. My best friend, Mateo, shout out Mateo. And again, always been in and out, like, you know, praying, but like I didn't really know who I was praying to. I didn't really feel a connection. And then when I met my fiance, and I was like, dang, they're really big into this church stuff, and they always happy. Like even when stuff going wrong, they got this peace. I was like, all right, let me do my thing. Let me see what this is about. So I started giving my life to God super hard over the last year. And just explaining how crazy God works, man. I could have gotten to medical school maybe without God. And it would have been like, I would have been a student, born student. But the way I got in, first time applied, didn't get in. Second time, you know, did the thing over the summer. The person I knew first at MUSC back, I did a student mentors of minorities program like 3 or 4 years ago during COVID. We was meeting on Zoom once a month.
I remember that, yeah.
And I met Dr. Natalie Johnson. I am forever indebted to that woman.
Yeah.
I met her before she was Dr. Johnson.
What?
Met her before she was Dr. Johnson, just over Zoom, and it was so foreign, bro. Like,
yeah.
When you're really anybody, but especially when you're a minority going into medicine, everything seems so foreign. Matter of fact, thank you, Holy Spirit, it's all coming to me. I remember I had a what's Keenan's last name? I don't remember. He's a pathologist. He went to MUSC. He's a pathologist in Philadelphia. Smith, Dr. Smith. I remember telling him, I was like, and I felt the same about Dr. Bruce and everybody I met in medicine. I was like, for some reason, it feels like y'all are superheroes, but like the only ones I could ever actually touch or become. And I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And I felt the same about Dr. Johnson. I had never seen these people, Dr. Diariano or all these people. I'm like, I know y'all name, I can see y'all face, but this is Zoom, this is COVID, everybody getting awkward. I was like, I don't really understand. Met Dr. Johnson, kind of kept up with her over time, and like, I thought it was like there was no money involved, so I thought it was like a name grab, like, hey, let me just, make sure I look professional. So I thought she was really keeping up with me just for like the sake of it, because she had to, because it was her job.
Yeah.
Bruh, she happened to be the first lady of my church with my fiance, New Life, New Christ, shout out, Reverend Hudson. Reverend Hudson's wife, Sister Mildred Hudson, is Dr. Johnson's mom. So I met Dr. Johnson a few years ago, kind of kept up with her over time. Then over here, I met my best friend now. Mateo's still one of my best friends, but Tay that's my guy. I met Tay while I was online, Pleasant Alpha. We was already kind of best friends, but we really became brothers after that. Just all the experiences we went through was awesome. Got close to Tay. Tay had a son on the way. We come down in Charleston while we're online to his son's baby shower.
Tay got a son?
He has a son and a daughter.
Tay has 2 kids?
2 kids, bro. And they're adorable. I don't know how.
Tay has 2 kids?
Yes. Truth.
Tay has 2 kids.
Yes, sir. Truth and Araya. They're adorable. I'll show you a picture.
Bro, I had no idea.
Bro, 2 of them.
Bro, I've been around Tay so much, I never knew Tay was a double father.
Because every time we were around, we'd be hooping. He'd be stressed out, so he'd just be trying to get buckets. He don't be trying to think about it.
Tay? I never would have.
Tay Nathaniel Lee Edie. Yes, sir.
Man, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Nah, you good. You good.
That's
you got 2
crazy,
kids. 2 churn.
That's crazy. You gotta show me a picture.
Yeah, I got you.
I did not know Tay
I
had
got
kids,
you.
bro. 2 kids?
2 of them things.
Dang. That's crazy, bro. Wow.
Yeah. 2
Anyway,
kids.
go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
But on the first one, at his baby shower, I met Tay's sister. So, let me back up some more. I have always been a very nervous guy. I even had a basketball coach tell me one time, he was like, Jarrod, it's like, you play basketball like you're afraid to be great. And that really is who I am deeply, and I have to fight that daily. And God helps me with that. I'm like, everything, bro. Like, just walking into a room and like saying I am who I am, I struggle with that. I'm like, even now, bro, like I'm an incoming medical student. Like I earned that, and I'm still like, did I? I'm like, nah, somebody had to.
Yeah. Something must have.
Right.
Must have slipped through the
Right.
cracks.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I met Tay, best friend, over a few months. Son on the way, baby shower, met his sister, had the courage to risk my friendship and asked Tay if I could date his sister. Date his sister. And we just being transparent. My soon-to-be wife is 5 years older than me. So it's Tay's older sister.
Yeah.
Everything about this picture is wrong.
Yeah, wrong.
But something gave me the courage to be like, bro, I have to. I don't know why, but I have to ask Tay. I have to try to get T-Money. And I don't do that, especially when it comes to women. I've had plenty of crushes in high school and whatever, and I'm always like, oh, nah, I can't do it. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's who I am deeply. That's who I thought I was.
Yeah.
Had the courage, ended up saying yes. 2 years later, we get married. But during this whole time, again, meeting Dr. Johnson, who wasn't Dr. Johnson, now she is, meeting Tay's son, boom, now I'm joining a church. Now I'm realizing this is my second time applying to medical school. Everybody at the church know I'm trying to become a doctor.
Yeah.
And then Sister Hudson brought me aside one day and said, Natalie Johnson's my daughter. I said, hold up. I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? Like, nah, it's like not real daughter. Like you just know her or something.
Yeah.
And maybe y'all both deltas and maybe it's, real life daughter in real life is a very large reason why I had the opportunity to do the program this summer.
Yeah.
And I just like,
yeah.
I I don't know what the average is. I know what I made a 501 on the MCAT this most previous time. And I'm telling y'all, whoever's listening, that I'm before brick wall. Soon as I gave my life to God, soon as I gave the MCAT to God, like, man, just walk around that wall, bro. I got it.
Yeah.
And he just took over. I to this day, even right now, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't have to know. And that's the beauty about following God. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to. You just.
You preaching good, bro.
Man, you get that. That's what people mean when they get that conviction. That I can't stand it. There's so many people that who know God well, and I understand how it's hard. Like I said, I get excited and I'm like all over the place, but like they don't explain what that means. They don't explain like they don't expand on, man, yeah, it's been a long road following God, but like, no, Pastor Hudson, explain like you really struggled with like pornography until you was like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like really explain like there's pastors out here like preaching a great message, but like in the news about messing with children, or like really explain like you struggle every day to like not drink alcohol. Like really dive into like give me specifics, because that's what happens. It's so many people that be on the brink of following God and they're like, but I know none of them over there are struggling with like this porn addiction or this temptation or like this lust thing. Like I know all the guys over there got it together. So I'm just up here till I figured it out. And that's what the devil wants. He don't want this.
Bro, you're saying so many things.
He don't want this, bro.
So many things.
He don't want this work. I'm telling you.
You're saying so many things I want to jump in on, bro.
Let's do it.
I think one of the things for sure is like just seeing how all of those seemingly random events, now that you're on the other side of it, you can see how God's hand was actually like sovereign over all of them. Like his hand was leading you and guiding you. Like what you thought was random, what you thought was like, oh, I just ended up online with Tate. Ends up, I'm marrying his sister. What you thought was, I just did this little program and I just met this one doctor and like, maybe she's just following, keeping up with me because that's her job. And then you end up like not only joining that church, but you also that ends up being the person who like supports you as you walk into medical school, bro.
Yes,
like I think it's so important to remember that we just don't have control over anything.
Mm-mm.
Like what seems completely and totally random to us is actually well planned out in the mind of God. And what seems terrible and what seems unfortunate, those difficult things that we go through, those times when we get a no, those times when we can't get past the wall, those times when we're unable to like you know, achieve whatever it is that we're trying to achieve, bro, those are the things that are actually taking us deeper in our relationship with him. And so, bro, it's all good. Like, and I don't say that like, you know, in a superficial way. I mean, like, literally, bro, all the things that we go through are actually for our good. And I think the more that we receive that and we understand that and we accept that, bro, the more we can actually enjoy life. Like, even when you're going through stuff, I remember, you know, there were times during that summer that we were studying together, and it's like, bro, even though it was hard work and even though it was a lot of difficulty attached to it, like, we still made time to laugh. Like,
What, man?
You know, we still enjoyed it. Like, we laughed, we cried, like, you know, we shared experiences, we hooped a lot. Like,
bro, this dude, bro, full blown medical student, still trying to figure it out, has a whole story himself that I know y'all know if y'all watching this video.
Yeah.
And dude really taking the time to, like, not just be a student, but to take an hour or two a day to pour into other students, and invited me to a hoop session. He didn't even know if I was good. For all the hoopers, you know you ain't just inviting nobody. Bro was like, yeah, man, you know, me and my boy, Jarrod, you know, we be hooping at this little park in West Ashley. You might as well pull up.
Yeah.
And again, I'm thinking, as soon as he said it, I don't even know if I told you this before.
No.
I'm thinking, oh, they gotta say stuff like that.
Yeah.
They got it, you know, they gotta say stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
Or this body be like a hoop session with 90 dudes.
Yeah.
And like, he just invited me, but it's really not like it's not like personal.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like 10, 15 people outside hooping, and it's intimate. Like, we really, yo, you're right, what's up, bro? Like,
Yeah.
we really out there talking about like
bro.
basketball, talking about life and God in between games. And it's like,
Yeah, bro.
man, when God orchestrates stuff, bro, it's beautiful. It's inexplainable.
Yeah, bro.
And I think a lot of people struggle with just giving it to him.
Yeah, bro.
But I listen to a lot of Eric Thomas. And something he always says is, it's not that deep. God is not that deep. Like, he is deep, but your relationship with him is not that deep. Like, it's not complicated. It's not cardiology. It's not. It's really straight up like, whatever you want, you can have. Just give it to me first.
Yeah.
Just give it to me first.
Yeah, bro.
So you never forget, like, how you even got it.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm learning so much, bro. Like, even the act of tithing. Like, so many people be like, man, I don't know if I want to get in my church. Bro, it don't even matter what they do with the money. It don't matter if they go to the strip club with the money.
It's not about that.
It's about letting God know, thank you, God, for this money you've provided for me. Even if it's $10, I'm gonna give you one back, so you can give me 100 more back.
Yeah.
And it's not that deep. He promises you he will give you more.
Yeah.
He will overflow you.
Yeah. Bro,
It's not that deep.
I love the simplicity of your faith, because I think over the years, like, I became a Christian when I was 16, like, really locked in when I was about 16, and like, you walk with God for, it's been almost like a decade now, and at times in life, like, it just, you start to forget like how simple that it really is. Like, this faith thing is actually not that complicated
At all.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it's easy.
Say that part.
But
Simple
it's
and
simple.
hard.
It's like ABC.
Yep.
But it's a, you know what I'm saying? It's a crazy ABC, but it's ABC.
Yep.
And yeah, bro, I think it's amazing to get back to the basics and just remember, like, bro, God is my heavenly Father. I'm his child. What child goes to their father and asks something of them, and their parent, you know, looks at them and is like, I'm gonna give you a rock instead of what you asked me for? Like, now granted, when we ask God for things, it's important that we submit to him in his timing and in his way. Like, you went to God and asked him about medical school. You didn't get med school on your time. You didn't whole time you wanted to go to a different medical school. You didn't necessarily get the med school that you wanted.
The whole time.
It didn't come in the way that you suspected, and it didn't come, you know, on the timeline that you suspected. But what God ended up doing for you was better. Like, God had a plan for you, and when you submitted your plans to his, he was able to give you something better.
Jeremiah 29:11.
That's it, bro.
Come on, Pastor.
That's it. And there's something else that you mentioned earlier, but I mean, I kind of heard it throughout this entire conversation, is just, bro, the blessing of like mentorship, of discipleship, of community. Like, that's, bro, it's invaluable, bro.
Man.
Like, you can't make it to the point where you're at right now. Every step that you've mentioned to me, like, from I was curious about medicine to I actually started to dip my toes into, You know, I actually took the test and I actually applied. I didn't get it the first time. Like, I applied again. Like, every step and stage, there were people that God had sort of placed along the way to guide you and to like comfort you and to strengthen you as you were going. And bro, that's just so important. Like, that's what hopefully we can be that for somebody like in this video right now. You know, it may not be, you know, you get to meet face to face with somebody every single week in order to go through those things. I pray that you get that opportunity, but there are people who are farther along than you, who are blessed and who are excited to be able to reach back and like help you get to where they are and to surpass them. Like you're coming into med school, I'm getting ready to leave med school. I want you to surpass me. Like, I want you to do everything that I didn't get the opportunity to do. I want you to be better than I was, bro. I want you to avoid every pitfall that tripped me up. So any piece of information I can give you that's gonna make this walk easier for you, that's what I want. Like, it's yours, bro. Like, if I have it, you have it. You know what I mean?
And not to cut you off, I think it's so hard for so many of us Christians and young Christians and just believing in God to understand, like, there's really a world like that. Like, this dude bodied medical school. He's graduating in 3 years. I don't know if he talked that talk on here or not, but I'm gonna talk for him. He's graduating medical school in 3 years.
It's gotta be the glory, bro.
3 years. And I think so many people don't understand, like, if you do what God asks you to do, it really can be easier. It really can be. Like,
bro, spitting, bro.
Like, bro, like, if all the young men out there, they're like, man, I kind of want to, like, you know, do this married thing, but like, I'm working on it, and like, whatever. Like, if you're faithful to your soon-to-be wife,
it'll be easier.
And you really do get favor from God. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, bro.
That's the thing. Like, there really is. There's levels to it. There was a reason Moses was Moses. He's like, all right, God, I'm on whatever you want. I don't really know why. It's a reason Paul was that powerful, because he really was like, all right, God, you know what? I'm gonna stop kicking against the pricks. Just tell me what you need me to do.
Yeah.
And he became important in the eyes of God. And the people who don't, they're not. And it's hard for them all the time. Something I'm realizing, bro, at my job, everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, okay. These people who follow God, they go through the same thing everybody else do, because you're going to. You're in this world, you have to deal with stuff of this world. But the ones who follow God, bro, they got a peace.
Yeah.
This dude is in his most important year of medical school and decided to put aside 45 an hour away just for me to come through, and I ain't even started school yet, because he has a peace.
Yeah, bro.
And like, it's different, bro. It's just different. The way you feel is different.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just like the Holy Spirit just giving you a calmness, because you do, like, again, it's simple. Life really ain't that deep. Like, you really can be like, you really can honor your parents, and like, even if they, like, no matter the history, you really can, like, forgive somebody who murdered your best friend. You really can, like, give your life to Christ and like live a better life. It's like, it's not that deep. Like, the goal is heaven. Like, so many people get caught up, and I'm so glad people like you, my fiance, that taught me nothing is bigger than God.
Yeah.
So like, something he said to me the other day was like, he's not afraid to present to an attending. And so many people will be like, I found this on my exam, and it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean he's smarter than them. He probably is.
Definitely not.
It don't mean he's necessarily smarter, but he knows, like, he fears nobody but God.
Yeah.
And like, again, I'm trying to like be specific and break that stuff down. When people say fear, in my experience, it doesn't mean like, oh my God, like, God, please. Fear is like a respect. Yeah. When you talk God, like, certain words mean something different. For example, you can be in love or you can be in covenant. Covenant is like the godly version of love.
Yeah.
You can be like, you can have respect for God, or you can fear God. Like, you can really believe, oh, you really do know more than me. I really am about to give my life to you. And like, again, with God is not deep, it's simple. It's like, you are here, God's version is here.
Yep.
You are, you got a girlfriend, y'all in a relationship, but marriage is here. Like, you want to do stuff by yourself, but whenever you're with more than by yourself and you're trying to like do these things and like spread the gospel of God, then you go here. Like, God literally said man wasn't meant to be alone.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, Adam, I ain't enough. Let me go ahead and hook you up. Go to sleep right quick. Let me hook this up. Boom, there you go. And it's like, it's not deep. Like, it's simple. You just have to initiate it. You have to initiate it. You have to learn about God. You have to learn enough to initiate it. So many people are like information seekers all the time. Like, man, I can't wait for the next podcast or the next, like, and that's cool. Like, I listen to podcasts daily, like probably way too many of them. But something I've learned recently is like, you done heard it before. You done had it, like, most people have had an encounter with God and you done heard it before. Like, there's nothing new that's going to save you. You just have to, like, do it, and then God will show you.
Yeah.
He gives you sneak peeks. He'll show you a trailer. He'll show you a Uriah trailer. Knowing his history, knowing what he came from with his moms, and bouncing out of households and going to USC and doing all this stuff. Now he's about to graduate in 3 years. He just gave him a trailer. He's like, you know what, God, let me go and subscribe to this.
You got to take that first step.
You have to. And he'll take 10, 50.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful that all of our journeys are individualized. Like, no two journeys look the same at all. But it's also crazy how they all kind of follow this, like, a similar format, bro. Like, wherever you are starting right now, you're going to have to step out of that. Like, you're going to have to step outside of yourself, outside of your comfort zone, outside of your realm of possibilities in order to experience what God has for you. And that requires you, like, letting go of things, bro. That requires you, like, bro, you cannot, like, even using medical school as an example, you cannot be at the club every weekend and say, I want to go to medical school.
You can't.
You cannot say, I want to have a deep relationship with Jesus and, like, not put away any time to, like, spend with him. And say, well, I want to know God and I want to have the peace of God and I want God to lead and direct my life. But I'm going to disobey everything that he asks of me. And, like, I'm not going to spend time around people who can, like, teach me how to be better. Like, I'm not going to submit myself to authority. I'm not going to go to church when I don't feel like going. I'm not going to, like, get up early and, like, spend time in the Word. I'm not going to do any of those things. And yet I want what's on the other side of it. Right? It's incompatible. Any step and stage of life that seems more appealing to you, you're going to have to go through some unappealing stuff in order to get to it, right?
They want muscles, but they don't want to go to the gym, bro.
Exactly.
And it's just, again, it's simple. Everybody knows if you go to the gym daily, you get stronger and your muscles get more toned.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody questions it. You might have days where you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
You might have got a flat tire on the way to the gym. You might have failed your exam.
Yeah.
But you know, if you go to the gym today, regardless, that's really how God works.
Yeah.
That's really, and, like, that's a bad example for God. Like, God is not, God, like, if I go to the gym every day and bench once or twice a week, my bench may be like 40 pounds higher in a year or two. But with God, bro, it's exponential.
Yeah.
Like,
all it takes is, bro, the Bible tells us, like, faith the grain of a mustard seed.
there's so many stories.
And you can move mountains. And it's so crazy because as a youngin', like, you know, people tell you those things, it's like, that just sounds so irrational, like so unreasonable. But
sounds
then
like a movie.
But then you realize, like, maybe we're not talking about physical mountains, but, like, for me and you to be sitting here, like, as medical students, that was a mountain, dog. Like, that was a real life mountain that the power of God stepped in and moved, like, literally moved out of the way, bro. Like, that's, if you need evidence of, like, scripture coming alive and, like, actually, you know, playing out in real life, like, you got to get around people who can, like, tell you about it, bro.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Who will sit there and be transparent enough. And this is also on us to, like, continue being transparent. But you got to get around people who, like, will tell you what happened. And, like, when people tell you what God brought them through, respond. Like, if God did it for me, if God did it for Jarrod, why can't God do it for you? Like, what stops, what's so special about us that God chose to, like, give us another opportunity, to give us favor, and then he won't give it to you as well?
And all you gotta do is ask.
Yeah.
Ask God. Ask his people.
Yeah.
Ask, like, yo, what, like, I know you said that at church, but, like, what did you mean? Like, what did you go through? Like, what did you and your wife go through? Like,
Help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta open your mouth, bro.
It's real, bro.
There's
so many things.
It's too much, bro.
There's so many things. We're not going to be able to talk about everything that I want to talk about, but I want to give you an opportunity, because I know you mentioned, like, having questions and things like that. And I want to answer them to the best of my ability, like, real time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the questions that you have, I feel like other people have.
Yeah. Since we heavy on God, I'm gonna stay right there. I got plenty of questions as well, like day to day, like which Anki deck do you use in your third year?
And we can get into all
right.
Bro.
What I guess the main question I wanted to ask was, I've noticed with me, at least in the past, and I'm stronger in my faith now, that I call it adaptable, but really like I can be lukewarm. I can get around certain people. There's like 2 or 3 times I was gonna say, there's like 2 or 3 times since we've been having this conversation where I'm like, dang, if I was around somebody else, I probably would have cussed just now. Or I would have said like something derogatory, not derogatory, just like something that like I know God wouldn't necessarily be pleased with.
Yeah.
Not literally, but I had the thought and I was like,
Yeah.
So like at my job, plenty of people who like, it's crazy, bro. I ain't saying no name, but it's 2 people in particular at my job that literally openly call themselves witches.
That's crazy.
Witches.
It's crazy, but it's not. It's not that crazy. I believe it, bro.
Yeah. Gotta pray for them. But just how do you navigate? Because everybody in the hospital ain't on God. How do you navigate? Not even everybody. Some of these textbooks you got in here, y'all can't see them. Not on God. They on cardiology. They not on like. How do you navigate? I know you get up early. I know you get in the Word before you do anything in the day, and you try to stay in the Word and like stay connected to God. But how do you navigate the day to day? Like, how do you navigate like today? If something happened to you today, that I'm like, man, this was hard. I don't know, God. How do you navigate that conversation in your head?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. And I feel like, Lord help me not to be long-winded.
Take your time, brother.
But I feel like
slow down fast.
I feel like one of the most important aspects of like walking in this world and understanding how to navigate it, like as far as your relationship with God, is just having a different filter on, like a different lens. And so in that sense, like I can walk into a room and look at a patient, and my colleague can walk in a room and look at a patient, and we're seeing 2 totally different things. Why? Because I'm looking through a different lens. And the lens that I'm looking through is this transformed, this renewed mind that the Spirit has given me, bro. The Bible says like that we should not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but we should be transformed by the renewing of our minds. To be made new is a daily process, bro. And those things that you mentioned, like getting up, spending time in the Word, like those are things that are actually translating to the decisions that I'm making. Like it seems like, oh, I'm just reading my Bible, reading my Word to check a box. It's like, no. As I'm spending time in the presence of God, He's changing me. As I read the Bible reads me. It's chipping away at certain things. It's pruning certain things out of me. It's cultivating certain things in me, so that now when I'm standing in front of an opportunity to make a decision to go left or go right, God being on one side, my flesh being on the other side, the filter that God has placed on my eyes is so much stronger because of how much time I've spent with Him, that I'm going His way every time.
I like that word, filter.
And that's what it is, bro. It's like every morning the same way I wear glasses. Like when I wake up, if I'm just looking with my own eyes, I can't see very well, bro. But me getting in that Word, getting on my knees, like spending time with the Lord, and not just in the morning time, but throughout the day, bro. There are times where I sneak away, like to go to the chapel in the hospital, where it's like I just need my mind to be renewed right now. When I do that, what I'm doing is I'm putting on a different set of glasses, bro. And all of a sudden I walk away and I can see more clearly again.
Right.
When I have conversations like this, when I'm around other believers, like my lenses are becoming clearer again. And so I'm seeing the world the way that God intended me to. And so then I go and I make decisions the way God intended me to. And so I think to like translate that and make that practical and applicable, I think the more time that you have to be careful about what your lens is. You have to be sensitive to that, bro. I think if you're gonna become like whatever you're around. So if you spend all day on TikTok, if you spend all day like listening to trap, if you spend all day around folks who living crazy, your lens is going to reflect that, bro. And so when it's time to make a decision, you're gonna make decisions in alignment with your lens, bro. If I spend time filling myself with the Word of God, filling myself with the things of God, if I spend my time locking in on and meditating on who God is and what He's done for me and how He's transformed my life, then I'm gonna make decisions in alignment with that, bro.
Right.
And so it's just like playing basketball, bro. Like you see people, make these game time like big shots, and it's like, man, how did they do that, bro? You didn't see all the work that went in behind that. Like in this walk, bro, to be a believer, you are preparing every day for battle, bro.
Yep.
Like literally, you're preparing for battle.
Good.
And so me spending time in the Word, spending time around community, spending time praying, having other people pray for me, I'm just strapping up, bro. I'm strapping up so that when I approach this world, I don't approach it on my own terms, but I approach it on God's terms. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That's deep.
Yeah, bro.
That's deep. Bro. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because I have done that with the marriage thing.
Yeah.
I've always been a server, a person who just gives myself up. But I like how you said the lens and the filter and the words you use to describe how you can perceive stuff differently. Because, like I said, I'm getting married, and I've learned that just to be straight, give a straight example.
Should be straight, bro.
There are people who are married who didn't do it on God's terms, who aren't doing it on God's terms, and they come home every day and then the house ain't clean or whatever, and they feel like their wife tripping. She is. And if you on God's terms, you come home every day and you're gonna clean up because Christ gave Himself up for the church.
Totally different perspective, bro.
It's again back to the simplicity piece. It really is how you perceive it. And I heard somebody recently say, I think it was Eric Thomas, talk about, and this is related to how you saying you looked at that lens. That's what they're all successful married men, and they're successful, but not because of they're millionaires, but they're successful because their marriage is successful. Their kids are successful. They're respectful people, and they all talk about how they start their day off spending time with God. And he made an analogy of for the most part, if you do what God asks you to do and repent for your sins and kind of do your thing, you're gonna make it to heaven. If you really love God and give yourself to God, you're gonna make it to heaven. But you can definitely win some championships before you do. You can win championships. You can just play regular season, or you can really go to the playoffs and win I'm talking about 3 left on the clock. He's 3 years in medical school is crazy.
Yeah,
and I think it's no coincidence how you start from mom struggling with everything she struggled with, you bouncing in and out of home, trying to find a job, trying to figure out a way to pay for school and stay in school, to graduate in 3 years. That's God.
It's all God.
That's God.
It's all God. And bro, people will walk in on this season of life and be like, oh, he's always been that way.
Yeah.
No.
Right, figure it out.
God cultivated all of these different characteristics and qualities in me. That's why when people say nice things and I say all glory to God, I'm not trying to be fake humble. I actually mean that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pretend to be humble. I'm telling you what actually happened.
And
the reason I can say that is because when I was 16 and I didn't know if I was going to graduate high school, and that's when I started okay, in the morning time I'm going to spend time with God. He started expanding things. He started teaching me things. He started showing me characteristics of Himself. And some of that stuff I got to go back and learn again and again and again and again and again. But the fact of the matter is, we started in a relationship then. And over time, He changed me because of our relationship. So He built me into this person that I am now. And not only has He built me to who I am now, but He's still building me. And He's doing the same thing for you. He's doing the same thing for each and every one of us. But I think that the power that we want when it comes to making the right decisions, it comes from our relationship with the Lord.
Yep.
The Bible tells us that, we have to abide in the true vine, because apart from Him, we can't bear any fruit, bro. But when we do abide in Him, when we are connected to Him, the same way that a branch is connected to the tree, we can produce a lot of fruit, bro.
Yes, sir.
And so really the question you asked me is how do you bear fruit in your life, more or less? And my answer is simple. I stay connected to the vine, bro. That's it. I stay connected.
Turn it off. That's a whole other video, bro. Turn it off.
Bro, the more I stay connected, the more fruit I'm able to produce. And I think also I wanna highlight this, but as time goes on, it's less and less and less about the fruit. I'm not even trying to impress nobody. I stopped worrying about achieving things a long time ago, because I realized that if God has it for me, it will happen. I don't have to set my sights on anything besides on him. The more I focus my attention on him, it's crazy. The more other stuff starts to come, bro. The more opportunities start to come. The more doors start to open. Because I'm following him and he's leading me down. It's like my life at this point almost feels like, not almost, I'm gonna say almost, because there are still areas where I feel lots of resistance and I have to fight. But like most of the time, I know I'm doing what God has asked me to do because it's simple. It's just like walking, like it's just easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC, bro. But when I'm doing my own thing, when I'm not attached to him, it's so difficult for me to do everything. It's so hard for me to abide in. It's so hard for me to produce fruit when I'm not abiding in the vine. So, yeah, bro, abide. That is my answer to that.
That's good, bro.
I knew I was gonna be long-winded.
That's good. I love it, bro. It's so much like just the way you broke it down, staying connected.
Yeah, bro.
And like this dude recently told me, just like at the last intramural game, you was just like, you at the point now in your life where you were like, God, just have your way with me like every day.
That's it, bro.
Like you just said, you're not even worried about the fruit now. Like you glad the fruit is there, but you're just trying to give the fruit out to like other people.
That's it, bro. That's it, man.
And I ain't saying, y'all know I ain't saying Uriah is Jesus, but I'm saying that's what we all follow to try to be like.
Absolutely.
That's why he came down to show us the way so we can get back up to him in heaven. That is literally what Christ did when he got crucified.
That's it, bro. That's it.
And it was tough when he was like, man, God, I don't want to do this. He did it 3 times. And we all do it 3 times daily, every 10 minutes. He did it 3 times. He was like, man, God, please, man, I ain't trying to do it, man.
Yeah.
And then finally was like, have your way. And then we all got blessed.
Yeah.
He created that. He stayed connected to the vine, so he got all that fruit so we could he saved us from ourselves.
Yeah, bro.
And it's like, it's again, back to the simplicity. Christ literally told his disciples, you have to pick up your cross daily, just like I do, and follow me.
That's
he
it,
just
bro.
said it. He's following him.
That's it, bro.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
If you follow, you can lead other people, and you can bless other people, and you can like, just anybody that overthinks following God, it really is that simple, but it really does, like, you really do get that peace. Like, it's not like about to be, it's always gonna be like an uphill battle, but after a certain point, it feels good.
Yeah.
It's almost like them crazy people that be at like Carowinds. I went to Carowinds recently, and it's a dude who rode the biggest roller coaster they got like 15 times in a row. The Fury now, it's like 100 feet taller. Yes, it's OD.
That's crazy. I gotta go back, bro.
Dog, I rode it just as that's a whole nother, like a do it scared thing.
Yeah.
And I think you had just dropped that video that weekend.
Bro.
It was a do it scared thing, bro. I love you too, man. Fellas, tell your brothers you love them, man. Stop being,
Facts, bro.
and you ain't gotta say no homo. Stop being weird, bro. It's all right.
Yeah.
Bro literally wrote it, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, eyes closed, like, man, like, no, please, come on, oh Lord. And me and Tay right, I'm like, oh, Tay, we did it. This dude like, yes, sir, do it again. When you follow God every day, that's what you want.
Yeah.
And when you don't, you're like, when you first start, it's gonna feel, it's uncomfortable, bro.
It is uncomfortable, bro.
You ain't been there before.
Yeah.
It's a different type of thing.
Bro, as you follow God, the discomfort don't go away. You just get more comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like
you really though, like you really do.
Yeah.
You don't just like it's not like somebody punching you in the ribs and it hurt like a 10 out of 10 and it hurt a 10 out of 10 every time. Like it really is like it's always gonna be some discomfort, but like that 10 out of 10 may feel like a 1 out of 10 at some point.
Yeah.
And you can handle it for real when you follow God.
Yeah, bro. The Bible tells us that, that trials produce perseverance. Like, and as time goes on, that perseverance gives way to character gives way to hope. Like, it's this slow process of like God building stuff into you. Like, just like in the gym, the analogy of like the weights are progressively getting heavier and heavier and heavier.
Yes.
Like, I don't necessarily feel like the weights get easier.
Yeah,
I'm able to push more than I was before, bro.
Yes.
And so
championships.
There are situations now that I walk through on a daily that in the past would have like brought me to my knees. And I think that's a testament to not skipping the process. Like, especially with us talking about medicine and talking about marriage and talking about all those things, like these are things that people want. Like somebody's clicking on this video because they're like, oh, I want to be married one day, or I want to be in medicine. But the truth is you don't want to skip the process. Like if you allow God to take you through incrementally, little by little, and you allow it to be hard, like man, dating has been hard for me. Like, it's been hard for years,
that's a whole nother
It's
pod.
been hard, bro. It's been difficult.
Right.
But I'm glad that it was hard because God put things in me, took things out of me, so that marriage will be a little bit easier.
Again, back to the point. Seriously though, dating 185.
Yeah.
Marriage might be 190, but now he used to 185.
Yeah. And you learn how to get used to doing hard things. Like,
I'm reading a book right now called Do Hard Things, and that's the whole message of the book, bro.
That's it, bro. I just last week just talked about, suffering well, bro. It's a part of this walk, bro. Like, God calls us to that. And I think that I love how you tied in how that is reflective of Jesus, bro. That's who he is.
Yes,
like,
bro.
Jesus was the picture of doing hard things, bro. He did not take the path of least resistance. And that's because his whole life he had been practicing being obedient to the Father. He didn't know how to do anything besides be obedient to the Father. And so the Father had him on a training plan, training regimen, like going from hard thing to hard thing to hard thing to hard thing. So that when he was faced with the hardest thing, he had everything inside of him that was necessary in order to accomplish that. And the same is true for our own lives, bro. So we have to be satisfied going through the hard stuff and not trying to skip over, like, dang. I wish that life had no resistance. I wish that we could get married, no problem. I wish that we could make it into medical school, no problem. I wish our finances would just magically work themselves out. But it's much better for us in the long run if God takes us through some difficulties as far as like learning how to obtain all those things.
Because that's what heaven is.
Yeah, bro.
Heaven is you don't have to work hard no more. Heaven is like you really do like you can take a nap if you want to, or you can just wake up and walk on these land of milk and honey. Like you really.
It's gonna be a time for that.
Man.
It's gonna be a time, but right now is the time for us to be made into the image of Christ, and it's an ugly, difficult, like hard process, bro. But it's also the best thing for us. It yields so much, bro. Like I can honestly say, as a 25-year-old man, like going through the things that I've gone through, I have an abundance of peace, bro. Like even when stuff starts to fall apart, my bank account be in the negatives.
What? Hey,
negatives, dog.
Bro.
And I'm like, they gonna come get me, dog. So I know they gonna come knock on this door, bro. But even in those moments, it's like I don't feel the same worry and fearfulness and like despair that seeing that 3 years ago would have made me feel. I have peace this time around, not because I'm like, oh, I don't care that I don't have no money in the bank. It's that I know my God to be a provider. Why? Because he showed me he was a provider. When I ain't had no money the last time, he took care of it.
Because he showed you before.
And so I can trust, okay, like because as time goes on, I go through difficult things, God's building his resume with me. And so the next time that something hard comes up, I can remember what God did last time.
Exactly. You revert back to your training.
Yeah. That's it, bro. That's it, man.
I know you gotta study. I know we gotta wrap up. But bro, it's anybody who's on the fence, anybody who's not even on the fence, anybody who's already of God, anybody who's not, who's thinking about it, bro, please just stop fighting it.
Yeah.
Just stop fighting it.
Yeah.
Stop fighting it. If you really do what God is telling you to do, and that's very specific for everybody. That's why he's so dope. Because like God ain't trying to make me graduate in 3 years. God is right now trying to tell me like, yo, be a good husband. Yo, graduate medical school. Yo, learn from your mentors. Learn from Uriah. And God is telling Uriah something totally different, but it's all the same message. And I'm telling you, it's only because we stopped fighting it. I stopped fighting it. When I didn't get into medical school, I was like, all right, this is that thing. Like I don't understand. Somebody does. And it's God. And I just stopped fighting. I just let go and I let God. And it's still a grind. Like it's still you can't be lazy. Like you really do need to work. Like back to your analogy just about how you brought back up the gym and like walking with Christ daily and hitting your knees daily before it gets hard. Because if you don't, like muscles atrophy if you don't use them.
That's it. Use it or lose it.
Like you can be a follower of Christ for 60 years, but then you could lose your way at 61. Like just stop fighting it and don't ever turn around, because it's better that way.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I wanna just take a moment and just give you your flowers, man.
Appreciate
and
it.
Just tell you, like, man, from the first day that I saw you You know, when I walked in and y'all were taking y'all's practice test like that day, didn't get a chance to talk to you right away, but from the moment that I saw you, bro, I was so proud of you. Like being you're the only black male in that room. Like, and as time goes forward, you'll be the only black male in a lot of rooms, and that's not the end all be all. My point is that you are walking a path that not many people have had the opportunity to walk before you, and I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hell of a road. You're gonna have a lot of uphill things that you gotta go through. It's gonna be tough. You and Tamani gonna have to fight. Like, y'all gonna have to, you know, hit y'all knees. Like, I'm gonna be praying for y'all. People gonna be praying for y'all. Like, money's gonna be tight. Time's gonna be tight. It's gonna be some sleepless nights. All of those things. But I need you to know now, before you even walk in, that there are people who are already proud of you. I need you to know before you try to tie your worth up in grades or in your performance or what people, but I need you to know right now, before you ever open a book, before you ever take a test, you are already loved and people are already proud of you. You've already done enough, bro. Your spot is solidified. You don't have anything left to earn. Don't go into med school with a chip on your shoulder or with anything to prove to anybody. I just need you to know, like, bro, what you have done and what you have allowed God to do in you has been amazing, bro. Like, you've done something amazing. Like, 16 days away from marriage, I need you to know that what you've done up until this point, you are amazing, bro. Like, the grace of God has done something profound in your life, bro. And even with that in mind, now I'm excited to see the things that God is going to do through you.
Right.
But I just need you to know that on this side of things, like, what come hell or high water, whatever happens on the other side, I need you to know that I'm proud of you, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.
I need you to know that you love, bro. I need you to know, like, you're that dude, bro.
Love you,
You're
man.
that dude, bro.
Yes, sir.
Much love to you, man.
Yes,
Much
sir.
love to you. But yeah, bro. I appreciate you, like, taking the time.
Anytime.
With me, bro.
Next time, maybe we gotta come with like topics to sit on, because I'll be wanting
bro.
that. It's so much, bro. It's so much. That's just God, man.
Yeah.
It's so much to unpack. Like, y'all ain't even ready for the stuff I done did. Or me and T-Money done to like get this wedding done. But like, I was driving Amazon vans like 4 months ago.
God, we gotta get into it. It's so many that we didn't get to talk about your marriage and all that stuff. But we gotta sit down and talk again, bro, in order to be able to like dig into it, bro.
Yeah.
This the first of many.
Yeah.
This is the first of many, bro.
Yes, sir.
For sure, man. But much love, man. Say goodbye to the people, man.
Shout out everybody.
Everybody.
Love y'all genuinely, and God is good.
God is good.
God is
All the
good.
time. All the time. God is good. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.